One, isn't it?
Yeah.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Basil. Ready? And.
Cayman Registry, final day.
Well,
You
actually,
can
might
be a
the
bit more
first day.
aggressive than that.
But lie, we're the first day.
For the first day?
Yeah.
Day 1.
Yeah, we're day 1.
Introducing Cayman Registry, day 1.
There we are, we got it on camera that they lie.
Good trick.
Yeah.
So let's start with the really, really weird extra question, which is that last time I checked, the Cayman Islands were not moored just offshore Southampton. But here we are in Southampton, as we all know, the centre of the superyachting industry, and the Cayman's Registry has an office here. Talk us through that.
Okay, Ken. Yeah, well, this is our European regional office. We have quite a few offices actually. Our main office, as you say, is in Cayman, in Grand Cayman, but we have offices all over the world.
I thought this was the main office, and there was like a sort of secondary team based back in the island.
No, that's not true actually. The head office is certainly Cayman Islands. That's where all the sort of senior directors are, except Greg Evans, who's our safety and compliance director, who's based in this office. So a lot of the safety and compliance work is done here because of the locality. We're close to class societies, close to other members of the Red Ensign group. So from practical purposes, it makes a lot of sense to do a lot of the technical development work here, where a lot of the other commercial registration aspects are dealt with primarily from Georgetown. It first started in 1903, was the first time we had a port of registry.
They could be our second oldest.
Ooh.
Because Lloyd's obviously trumps everybody at 250 years.
Yeah. It was the first time it was recognised as a British port. Of course, we were in overseas territory, and that's where that comes from. And then over the years, we've developed from being just a pure register to being a safety and certification organisation. And probably that started in truth 1991, where we started to register ships of any size, any type. So then we had the technical expertise to deal with all the safety and compliance aspects.
Right.
And since then we've gone from strength to strength.
Well, that's a nice little segue into what exactly does a registry do. You know, we'll get the Classification Society story from Lloyd's. We obviously didn't bother going to see MCA because, well, we went to see the building, but we didn't bother going in because we thought it would just be a little humdrum. So we want the Caribbean perspective. So what is shipping registry like Cayman all about? What do you guys do?
Is it tax dodging?
Certainly not. No, and I think I'm not the best person to speak on the financial aspect, but certainly there is a lot of tax exchange agreements and that sort of thing is certainly a perception of the past, I would say. But from a registry's perspective, our obligations sort of feed down from the United Nations. There's Article 94, I won't get too boring, but there our flag state duties are outlined in that convention, the Convention of Law of the Seas.
Have the coffee.
And then just to give you an idea of the structure, so under the United Nations we have the International Maritime Organisation, which is a specialised agency as much as the World Health Organisation or the International Labour Organisation. And that body, they develop conventions, and there's probably about over 50 different conventions and codes that we have to implement. And being in the yacht industry, the Red Ensign Group is one that's taken those codes and developed a code that is more usable, more appropriate to the type of novel vessels.
And that's what people would know as the large yacht code.
The large yacht code, that's right.
But then also you guys, didn't you lead another charge to take really some of the provisions of SOLAS, which are not in the large yacht code because it's based on a cargo ship code, and introduced a code that's appropriate for larger super yachts with a larger number of passengers?
Yeah, certainly we had the large yacht code, which has been around for about 20 years now, and then in more recent years we've developed the passenger yacht code, again in collaboration with the rest of the Red Ensign Group, I should say that.
But you guys were leading it really
well.
well.
We put a lot of resource into that, primarily because we were in that part of the market where clients were asking to move forward and we didn't have a solution. So there certainly was a commercial need to fill that gap, nations that we fill.
We've got two questions for you. So what's the difference between you, Marshall, and what's the other one?
Malta.
Malta?
Malta?
Yeah,
Flag.
they're quite. Gibraltar's certainly within the Red Ensign Group. But Gibraltar is a British flag, like ourselves. We're British.
Hang on, are they all ex-British territories?
No,
America isn't.
But America's not a...
America's a flag state. But it's not a member
No.
of the Red Ensign group.
The Red Ensign group's made up of 13 flags, and the ones that you probably recognise in there are like Bermuda, the Isle of Man, the UK, of course, Cayman.
Why are they all islands?
Marshall Islands.
Marshall Islands not.
It
No,
is
that's
not,
separate. So
really?
the Marshall Islands and Malta
Sorry.
are not aligned at all with the Red Ensign group. They're
Right.
their own flag administration. So the UK is in a way the mother of the group. The UK is the one that signs up to the conventions, and then they get extended to the overseas territories or crown dependencies. But we work as a group because we've got a lot of expertise within the members, so we tend to work as a group and share resources whenever we can.
So why would somebody choose you over somebody else?
So choosing a flag, depending on what industry you're in if you took the merchant shipping industry, a lot of it is on eligibility of ownership. It might be whether we recognise seafarer, which countries of seafarers' certificates we recognise. It might be the case where the age of the vessel, the quality of the owner. So everyone's got their own criteria for taking on board, registering a vessel. So our criteria is very, very young shipping, very, very low risk shipping. We're not looking at great numbers, we're just looking at good quality shipping. And I think that's the same within the Red Ensign group. Other flags maybe have other goals and ambitions and have different strategies or business models, if you like. So we like to...
Being very polite.
So in yachting, for
We know
example,
you're the best. We can say that for you.
I think if you want to look at the ratings, there's a lot of the measures that we take to see how successful we are, the port state control records. So there's in various regions, there's a memorandum of understanding where port state control inspectors go on board looking for deficiencies, or hopefully not, but they often find deficiencies, and your vessels get ranked depending on your performance over the year. So we have one called the Paris MOU for the European. You've got an Asia Pacific, the Tokyo one. The US have a US Qual 21, Quality Shipping in the 21st Century. So we use those as indicators on how we're doing. And if we're trying to sell our services, we say, listen, this is what we're doing. Because most, particularly in the merchant shipping industry, they won't go to a flag which is perhaps grey or certainly blacklisted, because you get inspected more. There's more chance of the vessel being detained or delayed, so it costs money. So that the good owners, in any case, want to align themselves with a whitelisted flag.
Did boats always have to have a port of registry?
Yes, in order to have a national identity, they need to have a flag and they need to be registered in a
This
port.
goes way back.
Unless they're a pirate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pirates.
So if you don't have a port of registry, you're then homeless essentially.
Exactly. Yeah. Because when you're on the high seas, effectively our law is what applies. When you're in port, again, our law still applies because you're still part of our jurisdiction. But you have to obviously make sure you're operating in
So when you're
accordance with the
crossing
local.
the Atlantic and there's no, you're under your
Yes, yeah.
rules.
You're in international waters. Then the law that applies is ours. Of course, there's international conventions on navigation, on how the vessel should be operated. But effectively, we have jurisdiction when the vessel is outside anyone else's jurisdiction. It's effectively what I'm saying. If you're in a port and there happens to be an incident there, then of course there are other stakeholders that might be interested in, and you have to always respect that some countries have additional requirements over and above the international requirements. They have their own national requirements. So just to be mindful of that when you're globe-trotting around in your yacht or in your ship, is that you normally need to have some awareness of if there's any more onerous local requirements to make sure you're not breaking the law.
This is blowing my mind because I only ever see you guys at boat shows, obviously, and it's just like, oh yeah, you just register your boat there to not pay the fees.
Yeah.
Of course,
But
it's
so
all
much
here
more.
in Southampton,
Yeah.
the centre of Superyachts.
And I think the interesting thing I
Got
find
flag and class and management,
with
design.
the yachting industry, which has changed a lot in recent years, probably 70% of our fleet are doing this on a voluntary basis. So this compliance with these codes, these rules and regulations, whether it be the Maritime Labour Convention or our code for commercial yachts, they're not operating them commercially, they're operating them privately, pretty much most of the time. But they're all doing it, they've realised there's a great value in doing it. It obviously, it hopefully prevents accidents and incidents, crew retention. So it's a good return on a good return on their investment in the long term. And when they come to sell the vessel, it's much better to sell a vessel with a classed vessel with certificates up to date and with safety certification from a respected flag state, it gives the pre-purchase surveyor a much better level of comfort when he's looking at a vessel. He knows that there's been a planned maintenance system on board. He knows things have been serviced and well maintained. So I think for the small cost, relatively small cost on having class and flag involved, most of the industry, and it reduces risk as well for some of the management companies, in all honesty, because they've got somebody else. The insurance companies do like it, and hopefully they give a reduced dividend. So I think, for the cost of doing it, and it's not an awful lot, it's well worth the investment. And in actual fact, even with the US now, they've changed their national requirements that any vessels going to US waters in private use over 300 gross tons need to have a yacht code certificate. So now pleasure yachts in private use are being regulated, and that's helpful for us as well, because that's sort of in the direction that we're trying to promote the industry, a safer industry, less environmental pollution, greater protection for seafarers. There is a drive by administrations to regulate appropriately, to appropriate level, pleasure yachts in private use, and US Coast Guard requirements are not too onerous. They're very reasonable, and by having a large yacht certificate issued by us, the US Coast Guard recognise that certificate as being compliant. So, and I'm sure that trend will grow, because when the international conventions for safety of life at sea were written, this was back in the 1920s. Pleasure yachts were actually very, very different animals from what they are now. They were things you might go from the Hamble River over to Cowes on the Isle of Wight. They were sort of gentlemen motor sailors or sailing yachts. And now, of course, we've got pleasure yachts in private use, which are over 100 metres.
Yeah, absolutely.
2 questions.
Yeah.
Did Peter write PYC?
Peter Southgate.
Yeah.
He was instrumental. He was
instrumental.
He was instrumental.
Okay,
yes.
Peter, you're not lying.
Yeah, but as I say, there's a lot of work. I think Peter was involved. He was involved in the writing of the original large yacht code as well. But these documents are so big, we have to share it.
What about? Have you got one here?
Yeah, I can go.
Oh yeah, can I just see a PYC?
Just to give you the, this is where it came from. This is the
Almost
first
scary as you
revision.
think.
This was the large yacht code 1. And now it's developed into a code for large yachts, Part A, a code, a Red Ensign Group code, Part B for passenger yachts, and then we've got some common annexes covering things from recreational fire appliances to helicopters, occasional workers, all sorts. Where we could try and find commonality between the two codes, we tried to keep it in one document. Yeah. So that was the first one that was written, and we've gone from LY1 to LY2, LY3, and various revisions in between, and this is where we are now.
This is amazing.
But it's a living document. I mean, we're still making changes.
Right.
16251. There should be available at all times while the vessel is at sea a supply of electrical energy sufficient to operate the radio installations and to charge any batteries used as part of the reserve source or sources of energy for radio installations. It's an obvious thing, but it's not real.
It's not a plan.
It's not real
unless
until
it's
written down.
written.
Until it's written down. It's just an
Thank you
idea.
very much.
Right, we need to do the challenge now.
Yes.
Right then, Phil.
Yes.
Are you ready to take the Between Two Yetis quickfire challenge?
Yes.
Okay, first question. Wine or beer?
Beer.
Football or rugby?
Rugby.
Solent or Southampton University?
Southampton, I'm afraid.
Lloyds or MCA?
Lloyds.
New build or refit?
Definitely new build.
Canoe stern or axe bow?
Canoe stern.
And do you walk to work or do you take a packed lunch?
I walk to work.
It's the trick question. And that's the challenge. Well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
I see that MTA is politically correct, shouldn't I?
No, exactly. And you can guess what university you went to as well.
No, Newcastle.
Coming up in Chapter 4, we visit Viking Recruitment at their state-of-the-art offices and get to see the Virgin Voyages team in training. Join us next time on Between Two Yetis on Tour.